make yourself more than just a man. If you devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely.
Hello everyone, it is me here, Journey. Now, I know, also because I've been busy, that there are a lot of episodes in this Flash season that I have not done videos on. But since today is the series finale, I thought I would just skip all those episodes and just do the series finale one because I know all of you want to hear my thoughts on it around the same time that you hear the thoughts of other YouTubers on the Flash series finale. So let's go over the Flash series finale. Now, note that the next video you will see from me will be on Superman and Lois, and then you'll see I might go like do a live stream at some point, and I'll even get back into the routine of doing the weekend Batman cartoon videos. I'll be doing those again. And at some point, let's see, Transformers Rise of the Beast. That comes out on the 9th. And the week after that, which is anywhere from the 11th to the 17th, I will be watching that movie and doing a live stream on that. So be on the lookout for my Transformers Rise of the Beast live stream. And I don't want to keep you guys waiting too much. So let's get into the Flash final. So this is essentially the end of the arrowverse because Superman and Lois, apparently they're saying it's on a different Earth. But Flash, Season 9, Episode 13. I like the beginning where it references doing the impossible, sorry. Uh, I like the beginning where it references doing the impossible, which is the theme back in Season 1. And you could even say it was the entire series. So immediately right off the bat, we see the multiple speedster villains go into the negative speed force, and we find out that this was right before they get killed off. Now, where have we seen that before? It was in No Way Home, and if you remember, was it the last week's episode? We had the Cecile make the Doctor Strange movement. That was a copy of No Way Home. So I guess this is the second time that they chose to copy No Way Home. We get what we get. Well, this isn't our first, but we get Cobalt Blue actually make his suit from the negative speed force for the very first time, which means the entire suit is negative speed force. Now, the only other time we've seen anything close to that was it back in season 2, the Runaway Dinosaur? And I know Barry has that book ready for Nora towards the end of the episode. So I really like that transformation. We get a spear fight between Flash and Cobalt Blue. Now, if you look closely at that scene, Cobalt Blue is the first one to make the spear, and Barry at that time he's dodging. But as soon as Barry sees, like for less than a second, like Cobalt Blue made a spear, he counters with a spear, and that was a very small moment where you see how fast speedsters are thinking and wanting to react. The big fight where it's a Team Flash versus uh Team Negative. Let's just call him Team Negative. The 5 versus 5. I was honestly surprised that that happened or that this early in the episode. No, we normally something like that would be like towards the end of the episode. And I assume that, yeah, this was the present day versions, but if you look at Cecile's suit, and maybe Allegra's as well, they must have Nora must have brought those from the future, I guess. Like here, borrow your future version of yourself's clothing or the suit. Now, in the scene where this is the 5 versus 5. They're standing. I noticed that the Zoom mask looked odd. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was a cheaper version of the mask. Maybe I don't know what happened, but something did not seem right about that mask. Barry mentioned something called the Delta maneuver. Now, have we seen that mentioned in a previous Flash episode? Because I don't really know what this Delta maneuver is. We get a weird, I guess, weird CGI scene of Cecile. She's floating in the air while she's fighting Godspeed. That seemed like a funny moment due to how weird it looked. Um, when Nora is fighting Salvatore, it looks like Salvatore is going to use his blade, and Nora vibrates, I guess, the stomach area of her body in order to make the blade go actually miss. Now, that doesn't make any sense because how can, like, even though she's a speedster and this is a comic world, how can she vibrate specific organs and skin in her body without affecting and damaging the other organs and skin? That, like, it doesn't really make any sense because all the other times we've seen speedsters like use the phase mode or the vibrating, it's usually the hand or it's the entire body weight. Now that even confuses the hand movement as well. But I guess we're just supposed to ignore that. I don't really know how I'm supposed to feel about that. And we heard Sway quote. As usual, that was annoying. Like, is that even a real word? Uh, they get when we get the building battle between Cecile and Godspeed. I don't know if there even was anything firing out of Cecile's hand, but it looked like she was doing absolutely nothing. And then I don't know how whatever attack she was doing was able to take down the Godspeeds that quick. So that was something I questioned. The funny thing is, during that entire 5 versus 5, uh, Reverse Flash decides that he's just gonna run away. He ends up scaring Chester, and we all knew because it was in the promo that they're not gonna eliminate Chester. And during that scene, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Reverse Flash had red boots. Did he have that the first time we saw this suit appear during Armageddon? Because I don't think he had red boots. I think after Flash got the yellow boots, he decided to have the red boots. And I don't get a close up, so it looks like they just used some normal red boots for Reverse Flashes, while Barry's yellow boots are all customized. That's why we've seen close ups of it. So apparently, Keon is like the nature force. And she's apparently able to not only see speedsters move at super speed, but she was also able to absorb the energy like she did from Zoom. And I guess that might just be a clue that Keon's nature force, yeah, I'm still going to call it nature force, is the strongest of the forces. And we even get the Zoom lock up the darkness quote that he says. I think a lot of people wanted him to say that again. We get a weird scene between Chester and Allegra, and as usual, it's the weird camera spinning. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes the camera spinning. It's great to see John Wesley's ship one last time. And I guess this is also us seeing Grant one last time. So, as you guys know, John Wesley's ship, he was the 90s Flash in the show that was back in the 90s. So, it looks like this episode is the last appearance of both John Wesley's ship and Grant Gustin as the Flash. Because we may not see them suit up ever again. Man, that's actually a sad thought. John Wesley's ship's Jay Garrick mentions that he learned the trick from the Earth 90 Flash. The Earth 90 Flash, remember back in Crisis, was the 90s Flash that John Wesley's ship played during the 90s show. And that makes us realize that that Flash still exists, because the last time we saw him sacrifice himself, and it's good to know that after that sacrifice, he still survived. The 90s Flash is still running. At the end of the episode, Barry's Flash is still running as well. So, even though we don't see, there are no more Flash episodes and stuff, at least we know both versions are still out there running. That's sad, but cool thought. We at the time the scene was happening where Co-op Blue absorbed all the speedsters, I was like, whoa, that breaks the timeline, because aren't they supposed to be returned to the original point? And it's actually explained later in the episode, because I believe was it Allegra? Sorry, I think it was Allegra who said Jay mentioned that their timeline's fixed. So, okay. This same scene where Koa Blue is bringing all his energy back by absorbing the speeches, that remind me of when in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, the cartoon, where we had the original Shredder, which was also called the Demon Shredder, where he reabsorbed all his dark energy in order to turn into his dragon form. So I don't know if that's where they originally got that idea, but that is what it reminded me of. The Mark guy, Joe Blaine, right? That's the name, Joe Blaine. He still needs to get a shirt, and he still does not wear any. He just wears that big jacket. We get a scene where Keanu tells Barry to find a new balance. I still don't really understand what that even means. Well, Grant did some good acting during that scene. So, not sure how, but I mean, at this point, Keanu is essentially the most powerful force. But she gets him to the negative speed force. And we got I guess this is essentially up there with one of the most brutal fight scenes in this entire series, because the red liquid starts coming out of Flash's mouth after he got hit in the face. And probably the most brutal is the Zoom fight where Zoom broke Flash's back. Other than that, I can't recall any other fights that are really brutal. Well, it's been 9 seasons, so there's a lot of information to go through. So Eddie finally regains control, and this is the first and final time we see someone who's controlled by negative speed force actually regain control. And they talk about wanting to find a balance, but I think we will never figure out what the official version of that balance is, because this is the final episode. So I'm not really sure on that. So Chester apparently still has his black hole powers. Or maybe just the healing kind. And I guess like this is where we were supposed to assume that Chester then finally becomes like a out on the field person for the team. And if you really think about it, a black hole absorbs light. Allegra has light powers. Chester and Allegra are together, but their powers are opposites. So that's a thing to know. We do get a weird dancing small dancing scene between Chester and Allegra. And this is during the same scene where he finds out he has black hole powers. And I thought that dancing was weird, but Chester and Allegra have always been weird. Then we get the hospital scene, and it was Chester. He's holding this little tiny Jay Garrick helmet, and we assume obviously Jay Garrick gave Chester like that, and he's like, "I'll give it to baby Nora." And I thought that was that was a nice little helmet. I like the little tiny Jay Garrick helmet for babies. And Nora mentioned, is she breaking the timeline by being there when she was born, or little Nora is born? And I don't. Chester says, yeah, it is. They'll fix it. Now, I do not know how exactly this breaks the timeline. I mean, like we know back like all the way Legends 12 and 2000, like adult versions of themselves can't adult or like children versions can't really meet each other. It'll cause a disruption in the timeline. But is Nora being there while her like less than a day-year-old baby version considered breaking the timeline? Or like by how? Because well, the only way it would be if the original event, Big Nora was never future Nora, Big Nora. You get the idea. Was never actually there, and now that she is, that's how it breaks the timeline. I guess. I don't know. But we get the return of Thomas Wells, and this officially confirms that the last Wells we see is Timeless Wells. He is the official final Wells shown. No, we do get Nora being born, and after that we get the actor who plays Joe singing. And I believe the last time we saw him sing was during the musical episode. And yes, I know that musical episode was horrible, but uh, the actor who plays Joe, he did a good job in the musical episode, and he does a great job here. And when Iris is listening to Joe sing, we get a bunch of flashbacks of Iris realizing the full journey of the relationship that she has had with Barry. I do not have a problem with the flashbacks. I thought those flashbacks were nice. So, when they were back at Star Labs, Keelan's leaving. I was like, wait, no Keelan? Are we? We're just not going to get Keelan back? And then Keelan turns into the elements: fire, water, wind, earth. Sorry if I'm forgetting another. I honestly lost track of how many elements there are. But then we get the return of Caitlin. Now I'm glad we got the return of Caitlin, but honestly, I thought that she would turn back into both Killer Frost and Caitlin, so that Chillblaine is reunited with Killer Frost. Because we knew at the beginning of the season he wanted Frost back. But that doesn't happen, and that's okay, I guess. Now, when we return back at the apartment that Barry and Iris live, Joe proposes to Cecile. Now, I thought all this time, all these past seasons, that they were married. Turns out they weren't. I guess I was wrong. We get an amazing scene that was the final run, which is also the title of this final season. Well, we get the final run, and I like that he mentions that uh, Oliver told him that the lightning chose him, and he's like, now it's time for me to choose. And he chooses three speedsters. And when you're watching the video version, because I'm actually recording this live, uh, I will have images of those speedsters on screen. And maybe in order to give you guys enough time to actually pause and look at the speedsters, you might hear some like no dialogue while those images are being shown. But those speedsters are Avery Ho, who is a female speedster. She is the Flash of China. I don't know if she actually goes by the name Flash or if there's a different name she goes by. But she is going to be one of the new speedsters. The next speedster is Max Mercury. He has been called Windrunner, Whip, Whirlwind, and Lightning. He has gone by three names. And in the comics, he is the speedster that trained Impulse. I think it was Impulse that he trained. The third speedster is Jess Chambers, who is also a female speedster. And her superhero name is Kid Quick. Apparently in the comics, she went by the name Jessie Quick once. I guess her official name is Kid Quick. And she's an Earth 11 speedster. So that means going forward, well, yeah, going forward in the Arrowverse, even though we never see this, we have Team Flash. They're going to be training these three new speedsters. Eventually, when Nora grows up, these three speedsters are going to be adults. Her and Impulse are going to be the kids on the team. The oldest is going to be obviously Jay Garrick. The second oldest is going to be Barry Allen. And those are going to be speedsters going forward because, oh, yeah, I believe those are the speedsters going forward. Unless Cobalt Blue joins them as a good guy and he becomes a speedster as well, a part of their team. Not sure on that. But you essentially have the lineup. You got Team Flash still, and you got new speedsters as well as other speedsters we knew that we have seen throughout the series. And that is where it ends. That is where the episode ends. Now, this has, like, even though I started making videos extremely late, I have been watching what Crisis confirmed that Smallville is a part of the Arrowverse. So I've been watching the Arrowverse since 2001. I believe Smallville started in 2001. And now it's 2023. And since I'm in my 20s, I'm 22, 30 years old. I'm in that time frame. Not going to tell you exact age, but the Arrowverse and superheroes have been a part of my life, a part of most of my life. And obviously going forward, superheroes will continue being part of my life. My channel, Hero's Journey, I also call myself the Batman, is all centered around superheroes. So, it's been a great journey, and it is sad that the Arrowverse chapter in my life is essentially almost over, aside from Superman and Lois. I will continue making superhero content, of course. So, you will still see superhero content from me in the future. I hope you enjoyed the Arrowverse. I hope you continue to watch my content. And with that, good night, everyone.
Time changes nearly everything, but the mission and the legend of the Batman lives on.